We can all think of millions of ways that winning that Mega Millions jackpot would solve all of our problems, right? And help us just sail into the sunset, into a posh life. But there are a lot of jackpot winners who would actually say the exact opposite.
Yeah, winning the lottery set them up for failure, bankruptcy, damaged relationships, even death. Team 12's Jen Wall shared some of their stories.
An exclusive society, one most of us think we want to be a part of. But these once self-proclaimed lucky winners call it a curse. Starting with Jack Whitaker of West Virginia, he won close to $315 million playing the Powerball Christmas 2002. Then his 17-year-old granddaughter was found dead. He also had a couple run-ins with the law. Jeffrey Dampierre won $20 million in 1996. Then in 2005, he was kidnapped and murdered. Detectives say the suspects were found with a lot of cash on them. And William Bud Post, winning about $16 million in the late 80s. Then someone close to him hired a hitman to try to kill him. So how does this happen?
Most of them bring that trouble onto themselves.
Says two-time Valley jackpot winners Carrie and Diane. They've managed not to squander their prize.
Instead of making a $10 mistake, you're now making a $10 million mistake. Nobody notices a $10 mistake, but the whole world is going to notice a $10 million mistake.
They've won the Powerball once and another lottery a second time. Total winnings more than $3 million.
Resist the urge to splurge.
But not everyone is so lucky.
It's shocking, but about 70% of the people will lose virtually everything within a few years.
Certified financial planner Jim Deuce says that's because of overspending, underestimating maintenance fees, and poor investments with friends and family.
And that's where it puts these people actually right back where they started, except having that experience makes them feel miserable.
Almost impossible for the rest of us to buy that millions can make you miserable.
It's not the money that makes you go bad. It's within the individual. Do that type of behavior, yes, you're going to get in trouble with your lottery winnings.